What's the biggest secret you've been hiding from your partner? My husband can't whistle. He always tries, but he just can't get it. One day while out hiking with our dogs, the dogs went too far ahead, so my husband tried to whistle for them. The first few attempts, nothing happened, so I whistled for them. Apparently my husband was trying to whistle at the same time, and he heard my whistle and thought it was him. He was so proud, just grinning from ear to ear. I didn't have the heart to tell him it was me, still don't. It was so cute to see how happy he was. So it was after the third time we'd spent the night together. After we said goodbye in the driveway, I went to go back inside, and there was a little empty piece of a blister pack on one of the steps up to the door, like a square for just one pill cut out. It wasn't the brand Viagra, but another name for it, sildenafil. I didn't recognize the name, so I Googled it, and that's how I found out. Confirmed a few weeks later, when he raced over and picked something up at my feet in a bit of a panic and chucked it in the bin. I saw later it was another little blister pack, .edit. And yes, fabulous sex and wonderful human to be having it with. TLDR, lied and replaced a card in a magic booster so my girlfriend could finally find an expensive chase rare. We both recently got into Magic the Gathering. For me, it was a return after 25 years of not playing, and she was new. We both were looking for a hobby to enjoy together, to help us get our minds off of the devastating 2 years we just fought through. It was 2 years of cancer diagnosis, heartbreaking surgeries, doctor visits, losing her 2 dogs, they were her children, all while trying to finish the last year of her PhD in cancer research of all things. Anyhow, the cataloging, sorting, playing, trading, and collecting seemed to put her in a quiet place where she could turn her thoughts to something else and just heal. She even played in her first tournament at Gen Con. She jumped in with both feet, and opening booster packs and finding cards with value seemed to light her up in a way I hadn't seen since we started down our war on cancer. The problem is, she never seemed to have the luck I did with finding chase rares, and with the latest set being totally her jam, small cute animals, she wants them all. So I ordered a bundle of collector boosters and the very expensive raised foil rabbit card she was looking for, cut open a booster, slid it in, and resealed it well enough so she wouldn't notice. Seeing her open that pack, hearing her voice shake in concert with her hands, and watching that fleeting panic that she damaged the card transition to pure joy was incredible. I feel a twinge guilty about it, but ILL take the secret with me to my grave. She thinks she got super lucky with finding an incredibly rare card. It's a small thing, but it meant the world to her. When he proposes to me, I have an engagement watch for him. My dad gave it to me a few months into dating him, and said that I could do what I want with it. It's been 5 years, and all I need is a nice box and ribbon. .edit. Thanks for the activity. Super overwhelmed by the responses. The watch is a Breitling Aerospace. My dad and his dad collected watches, so we would often inherit ones. They collected them when luxury brands were more affordable. The timing was in T due to me starting to date my boyfriend, just that my dad flew over to get a few older ones serviced as we grew up overseas. He just wanted to bring a gift. So I learned this kind of recently, but watch nerd type dudes are like really into details about watches. They talk about them like they talk about cars, make, model, year. They LL talk about special features like perpetual calendars, or if it's partially skeletonized. They have strong opinions on bezel type, and if the hands are lollipop or not. They care about the difference between a dive watch and a GMT, even if they aren't a diver. I don't get it, but man, do they sure enjoy it. I have a box of little crochet critters in the garage that I make when I'm bored in between clients. I let my fiance know that if anyone at work would like one, she's a hospice nurse, she can just take them from the box, no questions asked. That's what I told her anyway. The secret is that I purposefully make stuff for her to take. I even have a little spreadsheet, so I know what animals' colors are the most popular, and make sure that there's always spares. Obviously, I don't know WHO they go to, cause of confidentiality, but I try to get as big a range as I can. We've been together for 5 years, met at a football game. Our biggest thing in common is our love for our team. Every Sunday for years, we get together to watch the games with her family. I'm not really into football. I was at the game we met at because someone bought tickets and I was off so sure. I've never really understood it. So for years, anytime the family cheers, I just follow with cheers, and when they B-O-O-O-O, I do the same. I always knew my GF wasn't a huge football fan, but she'd sit with me when I watched games. When something exciting happened, she'd be playing Animal Crossing or something, and I'd tell her she should watch the replay and I'd explain the context. Sometimes weird stuff would happen, and I'd spend way too much time explaining to her what makes this specific thing unusual and why it's interesting. This went on for like 6 or 7 years. Then one day she asked, "What is a down? Like fourth down? What does that mean?" After probably hundreds of rambling explanations, I realized she just likes seeing me happy and likes hearing me talk about stuff that makes me happy. She wasn't actually hearing anything I was saying. After that, I explained the actual game of football to her. Now, after a few years of her asking questions and learning, she is actually excited to watch games together, and she understands why I get excited. I don't think his youngest son is his. The story about how this child came to be is very shady, between having his vasectomy reversal and how low he said his count is. Combined with the fact that he caught the boy's mom cheating during the time they were trying, and how fast she came back with the paternity results, it all feels very wrong. 13 years later, when we are talking about his youngest, he always brings up how similar they look. I just agree. This kid looks nothing like him or his other 2 kids. My BF is 5'7", blue eyes, black hair with a lean build. The youngest is already over 6 feet tall, brown eyes, brown hair, and kinda chubby. His mom is very slim, blue eyes, and blonde hair. He wanted to get them all 23 and me for Christmas. I talked him out of it. I think it would ruin Christmas for him if it came out. If I'm stuck on a game, she will casually suggest things I could try without outright telling me the answer. She will go very quiet, go on her phone, and then say, I wonder, does this game have any buffs to your lightning damage? Or, ooh, a dragon. He looks like he wouldn't like ice damage very much. I know she is goggling things, but I pretend like I don't because she gets so excited when her hints work and she thinks she helped me work it out organically. I stayed 5 years after the affair. I couldn't get over it. I thought about it all day, every day. I tried so hard because we had been together for 18 years and had built a life together. I couldn't trust him anymore. If he answered the phone, I wondered if he was talking to her. If he went to the store, I wondered if he was meeting her. We had a home that was paid for. We had cars, trucks, and even 2 dragsters that we took to the track on the weekend. We had kids and grandkids. We were gonna grow old together. I just couldn't get over the betrayal. He had been acting a little off. I absolutely knew in my soul that something was up. I just decided that I was tired of living that way. And I left. That was the best decision I've ever made. My life is so much easier out of that mess. Sometimes you just gotta move on no matter how much you want to make it work. One last thing. He was seeing someone else before I left. I only found out for sure afterwards. I was right. Good luck. That my insecurity is so painful, and I feel like LM screaming from the inside. I hide so many feelings about my insecurities all the time. Inside, I'm so convinced that I'm not good enough for anyone. Who could be with me and want that? I dated a few guys who just didn't teat like me but kept dating me. Does anyone like me? Outwardly, I do weird things like look away when we pass an attractive woman, and there is no amount of reassurance anyone can give me. It's me. All me. I am a people pleaser to the max, and I am so insecure that if I fall out with people, totally normal thing to do, I will obsess over how people don't like me because I'm not likable. It's a war in my head. He knows I'm insecure, but he knows a small fraction of what I feel. I told her my body count when she asked randomly, years ago before it became trendy. And I had been in the military for a while, so I thought she meant real body count, as in kills while I was in. I told her 22 confirmed, and she giggled and repeated confirmed. That made me mentally giggle like, sure, okay. I didn't ask hers back, because I wouldn't have assumed that a waitress had killed anyone. Years later, when I learned the other, more cultural definition I couldn't tell her. That I have a large secret candy stash I hide far away from him in my closet, hoarding it like a little candy dragon. I love him. I have some chocolates accessible in the freezer if you want some. I share certain varieties I buy, in small doses. But I keep all my good shit locked away, because he will absolutely inhale all of it in a week. If I tell him to replace it, he will, but sometimes it takes him a while and I don't want to wait 3 days for a refill of my damn candy. Some of the stuff he's eaten is hard to find, like certain sugar-free gummies I've had to buy across 3 to 4 different places, or international treats only sold at one market in the area, and so he won't replace it, just reimburse me, but it's still annoying that I have to go out and find it again. He's thin and fit, so feels no guilt or anything about swallowing half a bag of candy in one sitting, but I'm losing weight and cherish the sweets I have infrequently. It maddens him for whatever reason that it can take me 5 months to finish a bag of Dove chocolate, lol. I even have some Easter candy left in my stash. Of all the flaws for someone to have it's not so bad, he at least tries to replace or reimburse, but but it's easier that I just keep my sweets to myself and share small portions. Our 10th anniversary is coming up in January. We got engaged 10 years ago last week, with a ring that looks nice but was the best I could afford at the time. We're not wealthy, both educators, but we've moved up enough on our district salary schedules and cleared out some bigger debts. So my 10th anniversary gift is a new ring that's about 5 times what the original cost and looks it 5 months until I can show her. It's something I'm prepared for. She had been saying years ago that it'd be nice to have a companion ring for a landmark anniversary, but I couldn't find anything that would complement the 400 ring we started with. The one I did find, with lab-grown stones, feels more like something that could get a curved companion ring down the line. The funny thing is that when I sent a picture to her 2 best friends, my sounding board for planning the original engagement and then workshopping this gift, one of them said, "The one with the big rocks is pretty, but that smaller one is my favorite." I had to remind her that the smaller one was the one she helped me pick out 10 years ago. I've got the start of a note explaining that I'm not replacing anything but showing how everything I love about her has only grown exponentially in 10 years, and that this ISNTA do-over but a symbol of that. My wife and I are both on our second marriage. When we first got married, she had regular nightmares. And by that I mean a few times a month. She would wake up screaming like somebody was stabbing her. Her first husband was abusive, not physically, but definitely verbally. I think the nightmares were related to that. There was lots of them the first couple of years, but they slowly subsided. We've been married 12 years now. Every once in a while she still has one, but I think because she doesn't have to endure that anymore that she doesn't have them anymore. As someone who got left behind this way, I just want to let you know that it's true what they say. The pain doesn't go away, it gets passed on. And the person it gets passed on to holds on to that pain for as long as they live. And the thought of "I wish I had known, done something, etc." will forever be in their heart. I hope you get the help you need. If you love your wife truly, I hope you get help before it's too late. Do it for her. That I know my husband eats meat despite his insistence that he's vegetarian like me. I don't care, but it's cute that he doesn't think I know. I've been veggie for over 20 years, but one of his former coworkers told me he saw him eating pepperoni pizza, and ever since then I've noticed small meat escapades. And it's so adorable that I can even call him on it, because it doesn't matter to me, but I know he would be embarrassed. LOL. One of the biggest secrets I kept from my partner involved a time in my life before we met. A few years back, I was really struggling financially. I ended up racking up a significant amount of debt trying to stay afloat. By the time I met my partner, I was just beginning to get back on my feet, and I was too embarrassed to share how bad things had been. I'd always told myself I'd wait until the right moment to tell them, but as our relationship grew, so did my fear of their reaction. It wasn't just about the money. I was afraid they'd just see me differently, as someone who didn't have it all together. I knew that honesty is key in a relationship, but I kept delaying the conversation, convincing myself that I'd tell them once things were more under control. The weight of that secret was heavy. Every time we talked about the future or made plans, I felt a pang of guilt, knowing I wasn't being completely transparent. There were close calls when I almost blurted it out, especially when we talked about big financial decisions. But I held back, worried about the fallout. Eventually, I realized that this secret was eating away at me, and it wasn't fair to either of us. The day I finally confessed, I was expecting anger or disappointment, but instead, my partner just listened. They were more understanding than I could have imagined, and together, we worked out a plan to handle things. It was a huge relief, but I'll never forget how difficult it was to carry that secret, and how much easier it would have been if I had just been honest from the start. It taught me that in a strong relationship, it's better to face the tough conversations early on, rather than letting them grow into something bigger and more daunting. I don't like the way he folds my laundry, but I will never tell him that. He's very insistent upon helping me do little tasks when he can tell I am overwhelmed, and I'm so incredibly grateful for him and all he does that I don't even care that the shirts he folds down site match the rest of them, or that he put my jeans in the wrong spot, because the incorrectly folded clothes are just another little sign of his love for me, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. If you feel comfortable, talk to them about it. I was on the opposite side of this situation. For a decade, I thought I was doing everything perfect and she was extremely satisfied. It was only through a random question I asked one day that the truth came out. It broke my brain and I was so hurt that it kept me from enjoying sex. We spent a lot of time talking, learning, educating each other on our likes and dislikes. We had been together for 15 years at this point, and the sex was super clunky for a few weeks after I found out. A lot of talking during and after, just things like slower, no, not there, Don T change speed, key dead. But it helped. And months later, we were having the best sex ever. It all came down to just talking. I wish I had the courage to ask sooner. I don't blame her at all. It worked out in the end. But you don't know what you don't know. I know this as partner, but I read a comment from someone misreading that as parent, and I have a secret that I'm currently hiding from my parents. With that, I'm not sure if this belongs here. I just had a kidney removed cancer, and I haven't told them yet. Maybe never. I am 53 and they in their 80s. They don't need to know, but I'm concerned they find out, because I've not kept it secret from everyone. The cancer is gone, as much as cancer can be gone. Everything removed, clear margins, no spread. And unless I get more shitty luck, I should be able to live a normal life with one kidney and lots of monitoring. In other words, they could live out their lives blissfully ignorant, like I was, until 3 months ago.